She was quite known for her feisty personality.
Feeling that we got when they came out with the baby, we couldn't miss it again. We couldn't miss this one.
Recently, Princess Charlotte left the entire country in shock with a bold moment that unfolded in the privacy of her family home. During a quiet moment with her loved ones, she spoke out in a way that no one could have predicted, especially her father, Prince William. What makes this moment so impactful? What was it about this heartfelt message that shook him to his core? And why did this unexpected interaction capture the public's attention in such a profound way? For the royal family, Christmas is always a time of tradition, with dinners, carols, and public appearances. But what really happens behind closed doors? What do we miss when the cameras aren't around? On this particular Christmas, something out of the ordinary happened in the drawing room that had everyone looking at Princess Charlotte in a completely new light. This wasn't just a royal moment. It was a moment of raw, unfiltered emotion from a 9-year-old girl who knew exactly what she was doing. The question remains, what did Princess Charlotte say to her father that made such a lasting impact? Stay tuned as we reveal the stunning details of this royal bombshell. In the midst of the cozy and relaxed atmosphere, with everyone enjoying the holidays, an unusual moment occurred. Prince William, whose schedule is usually packed with public engagements, meetings, and the heavy burden of his future role as king, had been savoring some rare time with his family. But it all changed when Princess Charlotte, like any other child, was moving around the room, chatting, helping with ribbons, and occasionally teasing her brothers. Then in the middle of it all, she stopped, approached her father, and did something that caught everyone off guard. Standing in front of her father, Charlotte looked him straight in the eye and spoke with a quiet seriousness. She told him she understood the demands of being a prince, acknowledging the heavy responsibility he carried. However, she also shared with him, in her simple way, that she missed him. Charlotte expressed how sometimes it felt as though he was so focused on his royal duties that he forgot to simply be her dad. It was a small moment, a brief voice, but it was enough to change the atmosphere in the room. The room fell silent. No one moved, and it felt as though everyone froze in that moment, unsure of what to say or do. Kate, sitting nearby, turned towards Charlotte with wide eyes, clearly surprised by her daughter's boldness. Yet there was also a sense of pride in her expression. It wasn't anger or discomfort. Kate seemed to be seeing a new side of her daughter. Prince William, for his part, didn't speak immediately. His usual composed and polished demeanor faded away, replaced by something more human. For a brief second, he was no longer the future king, but simply a father hearing something his child needed to say. Charlotte's words had struck him deeply, and it was clear that he had heard his daughter in a way he hadn't before. Princess Charlotte's recent bold moment with her father, Prince William, took everyone by surprise. It wasn't meant to hurt or embarrass him, but instead came from a place of raw honesty, something only children can express without fear of judgment. Charlotte wasn't looking for attention. She simply wanted her father to know how she felt. Her words weren't loud or dramatic, but they cut through the royal ceremony and tradition, delivering a powerful message. It was a simple expression of a little girl missing her dad, reminding everyone in the room, especially William, of what truly matters in life. This wasn't the first time Charlotte had shown her sharp wit and keen observation skills. People had always noticed her cleverness and cheeky personality at public events. She had that spark, always charming and playful. However, this time, Charlotte's bravery stood out. She had noticed something many people wouldn't dare bring up: her father's distracted focus on his royal duties, and she felt compelled to speak up. Her words struck a chord, and after that moment, the atmosphere in the room changed. Prince William began paying closer attention to his children, with the hugs lasting longer and the laughter feeling more genuine. Over the next few days, it became clear that Charlotte's simple yet profound message had made an impact on her father. Although there was no dramatic shift, Prince William appeared more present and engaged. He seemed less distracted by his royal responsibilities and more connected with his family. Charlotte had managed to pull him out of the fog of duty and reminded him of the importance of being there for his children. For Kate, this was a proud moment. She had always been protective of her children's emotional well-being, and Charlotte's maturity showed that she was growing into someone emotionally aware, capable of expressing herself even in the most challenging moments. For Charlotte, this quiet but powerful moment marked a shift in how the public saw her. Up until then, she was known for her playful antics, making faces at cameras, nudging George during parades, or cracking jokes at official events. But this showed a deeper side to her personality, a seriousness wrapped in her playful demeanor. She wasn't just a royal child following the rules. She was thinking, feeling, and paying attention. Charlotte's brave moment proved that she wasn't afraid to use her voice when it mattered most, connecting with her father in a way that many wouldn't expect from a child her age. Interestingly, this story wasn't shared widely in the media, and it didn't make headlines. It wasn't captured by cameras or broadcast on social media. Instead, it remained a quiet moment within the walls of the palace, reported only through sources close to the royal family. This serves as a reminder that, behind the royal titles and polished public images, the family faces real-life challenges and emotions. Sometimes, it's the youngest member of the family who reminds everyone what truly matters. By the end of the holiday, while things weren't magically fixed, Prince William had changed. His family became closer, and his commitment to spending more time with them was evident, marking the beginning of a new chapter in his life as both a royal and a father. Princess Charlotte's journey began long before this defining moment. When she was born on May 2, 2015, her arrival was met with great fanfare, with crowds gathered outside the hospital and cheers filling the air. Her name, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, carried profound meaning, honoring her family's legacy, her grandfather, the Queen, and her late grandmother, Princess Diana. From the very beginning, Charlotte was thrust into a long royal tradition, but her early years were relatively quiet. She grew up at Anmer Hall, far from the prying eyes of the public, allowing her to experience a semblance of normal childhood away from the spotlight. Even though the press closely followed every move, Charlotte's family did their best to provide her with a protected upbringing. William and Kate worked hard to keep her childhood as private as possible, letting her enjoy simple moments, like playing with George or helping Kate in the kitchen. However, the public couldn't help but notice Charlotte's unique presence. Whether in photos or at events, there was always something captivating about her, a spark in her eyes and a self-awareness that set her apart. When the family moved to Kensington Palace in 2017, Charlotte's personality began to shine even more. It was no longer about being the royal baby hidden away from the world, and Charlotte's playful nature began to capture the attention of the public in a whole new way. This shift became even more apparent during her younger brother Prince Louis's christening, where Charlotte was no longer just the baby of the family, but the proud big sister, a role she would grow into even further. Princess Charlotte has always had a presence that captivated the public's attention from a very young age. Even when she was just a toddler, she exuded confidence in a way that didn't seem forced. During Prince Louis's christening, while everyone was focused on the newborn, Charlotte took the spotlight without trying. She waved at the crowd, made faces, and walked with a level of self-assurance that far exceeded her age. It wasn't rehearsed. It was simply her natural charisma shining through. This wasn't the first time Charlotte had shown she had a spark. Her cheeky and charming nature had always been evident. But it was this moment that truly demonstrated her comfort in her role within the royal family. As Charlotte grew, she continued to show her personality, notably in her interactions with the public. When she began school at Wilcox Nursery and later at Thomas's School in Battersea, she was just another student, no titles or fuss. Her classmates saw her as a regular kid in a uniform, not a future queen. However, the public continued to observe her, noting her playful gestures and confident expressions. From sticking her tongue out at photographers to politely correcting them when they became too loud, Charlotte knew exactly how to handle attention. And it was clear that her confidence didn't stem from training, but from the freedom to be herself within a supportive family environment. One of the most significant moments in Charlotte's life came with the Perth Agreement, a change in royal succession law that kept her place in line to the throne even after the birth of Prince Louis. This amendment was historic, as it marked a shift in how younger sisters were treated in the line of succession. Charlotte didn't lose her spot, making her a symbol of the evolving monarchy. It was a quiet but powerful moment in history, highlighting not just the progression of royal tradition, but also a shift in the times. Charlotte's ability to handle the pressures of royal life with grace and authenticity is something that stands out. While being a royal child is often seen as a fairy tale, the reality is full of scrutiny and every move is observed. But Charlotte seems to take it all in stride. She doesn't try to shrink from the spotlight or play it safe. Instead, she embraces her cheeky, bold personality. Whether it's clinging to her mother's hand before an event or sharing a moment with her brothers during a ceremony, Charlotte shows that despite the royal titles, she is still a relatable child with emotions and a vibrant personality. As she has grown older, Charlotte's public moments have evolved to show a more thoughtful and composed side. During Queen Elizabeth's funeral, she stood tall and calm, clearly aware of the responsibility of the day. This poised demeanor signaled that Charlotte was maturing into someone who understood her role in history. Her public charisma is undeniable, whether through her confident glare at photographers or her playful interactions at family events. But what truly sets Charlotte apart is her ability to balance fun with responsibility. Whether leading an orchestra or stepping in to help her older brother at a royal event, Charlotte's maturity shines through, making it clear that she is not just the playful princess everyone first knew, but a serious and capable future leader. Princess Charlotte has shown a remarkable sense of responsibility and awareness from a young age, often demonstrating her strong character in subtle but impactful ways. On one occasion, during a formal event, her older brother Prince George forgot to bow at a key moment. Charlotte, without hesitation, gently reminded him, her tone respectful yet firm. It wasn't about being bossy, it was about upholding tradition and knowing when to speak up. This quiet nudge not only showcased her understanding of royal protocols, but also her sense of duty, highlighting that even in moments of high emotion, she is aware of her role and willing to take charge when necessary. In another instance, Charlotte was given a bouquet to hold during a royal service. At first glance, this may seem like a minor detail, but for Charlotte, it was an opportunity to show her strength. As people casually reached to touch the bouquet, Charlotte instinctively tightened her grip and ensured it stayed close. It wasn't about rudeness, it was about standing her ground. The way she guarded that bouquet conveyed a sense of respect for what she was entrusted with, demonstrating that she values her responsibilities and will not let others take them lightly. However, Charlotte is not all about poise and leadership. She also knows how to embrace her playful side. During the King's Cup sailing event, while greeting the crowd, Charlotte stuck her tongue out, a spontaneous and mischievous gesture that made people laugh. It was one of those moments that reminded the public that, despite growing up in the royal spotlight, Charlotte is still a young girl with a fun-loving spirit. Her unfiltered personality and ability to express herself freely brought a refreshing contrast to the polished image often associated with royalty. What truly sets Charlotte apart is her authenticity. In a world where royal children are often taught to be reserved and composed, Charlotte refuses to hide her true self. While she is always polite, knows when to smile, bow, or wave, she also embraces her full range of emotions, whether that's happiness, annoyance, or pride. She doesn't try to fit into a mold of perfection. Instead, she shows the world who she is, unashamedly. This honest approach makes her incredibly relatable and stands out in the carefully curated royal environment where so many others are taught to stay silent and polished. As Charlotte continues to grow, her story is evolving in a way that could change the future of the monarchy. Her confidence to lead, her ability to connect through humor, and her boldness in showing up fully, even in the face of intense scrutiny, suggests that she will play an influential role in the royal family. She is rewriting the narrative of what it means to be a royal today not by rebelling, but by embracing who she truly is. With each passing year, Charlotte's fire and unique presence will only grow, and the world will be watching as her remarkable journey unfolds. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others for more exciting content. Thanks for watching.